in for 6. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
And his kick is right through. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
He's back to throw. And he's got it over the middle. Fedorowicz. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And quickly, they get to the line. Back to throw.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. Back to throw. He's got Fuller. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
And now a critical extra point attempt here. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. That time a 6-play drive. And the gadget play gets him into the end zone. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Now on 2nd down, this is Gurley. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So we saw a lot of points. Overtime comes. The defenses, they clamp down.
rather amazing, isn't it? Because would you have even thought that we'd get to overtime after what we witnessed for 4 quarters?
Not at all.
And have 0 points on either side? Not a chance, right? And somehow it happened. We always talk about making adjustments. Maybe both defenses took 4 full quarters in order to get an adjustment. Got 1 good period in for both defenses, and now they go home. You buying tonight?
I thought it was you. I did last week. I did the last 2 weeks.
Oh, I was trying to go for 3.
Dinner on you, my good
Trying
man.
to go for 3.
Nothing between these two teams for 4 quarters. Here we go to begin overtime. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
And that's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's getting a little bit tired from how many times he's carried the ball. But I always think back to what all those old coaches say. The ball's not that heavy. Keep carrying it, kid.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
But I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up the play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Offense.
And the dreaded 3rd and long here for the offense. Now a first throw here in overtime. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. A big 30-yard play on 3rd. Well, we haven't been shortchanged on offense. Another fun play to watch there on the deep pass.
This game has the feel of, what, a turkey bowl, a Thanksgiving day. You know, when we get together this year, when the Davises and the Gaudens get together, that's what our playbook's going to look like they're drawing them up in the dirt, and so far it's working for both of them.
And now a first down following that long gain. This is Miller. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Fuller brings it in over the middle. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. And with this guy, I don't know that you're surprised when he has back-to-back games like this. He just keeps excelling.
What I like about him is that every year he doesn't settle for being one of the best in the game. He tries to make himself better. Almost like those great basketball players. I remember hearing about Kobe Bryant wanting to add something to his game every offseason. Magic Johnson, what do I need to work on to get better? Michael Jordan had that fadeaway before his career was over. Those are the best. Even though they're at the top of their game, they find ways to get better.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. William Hayes in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. And a play like that with how far he had to go to make that sack shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic. This is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
Now back to throw. Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. A costly mistake here in OT.
And you know what they say when you throw an interception like that in overtime? You don't usually get a chance to throw a second one. I mean, I'm not sure the analytics on it. Let's ask Marvin, our statistician, to ring that down for us. That's typically how coaches and teams feel about it. If you throw one, you likely cost yourself the game.
The Texans defense, we watch them get set to go. First throw in overtime for Goff. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now second down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Goff turns and gives to Gurley. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
Throwing on 3rd. Goff. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Whether they deserve credit or not, the defense is going to take credit for that incompletion because it always feels good when you slow down an offense.
Here's Johnny Hacker now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And now out comes Houston. Neither team scored yet. Now we go to sudden death. Next points win this game.
How about the tension right now? It is ratcheted up, isn't it? I mean, now whatever happens, points are scored. That's your ball game. Can't wait to see the defense now. Do they get a little more aggressive in order to not let the team just drive the ball easily down the field?
Got to be careful, though, right?
Yeah, if you're too aggressive, you just give up something easy and cheap. But some defensive coordinators, they'd rather take a stand that way as opposed to being nickel and dime down the field. When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So a fumble on second down. They're able to maintain possession. Brings up 3rd. They'll set up to throw. Finding time. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down. You bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
Here's Jeff Locke now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Now Austin. Look at the spin.
Balance.
There are no flags. He's into the end zone.
Touchdown.
And an amazing return wins it in OT. And partner, not every day that we get to call a game that ends in a punt return in overtime. It was a great 4 quarters, and then the electric play there to end it in OT.
A little bonus football for us all, and no one ever turns down free football, right? But you're exactly on target. To get this type of an ending, a special teams play, a punt return, and oh, of course, the biggest one of all, no penalties on a return? What a great way to end it.
So for Los Angeles, they at least get the win here to earn a split of their first 2 home games. And they'll get to stay put for a few days.